Hi guys, so economic experts predicting a recession and the Office for Budget Responsibility saying inflation is due to peak at 10% this year, with unemployment jumping from 3.7% to 3.8% when it was expected to drop down to 3.5%. Boris Johnson responded to Ian Blackford of the SNP on the issue of Scottish independence with, wait for it, Brexit? Here we pick up with Ian Blackford explaining how the UK economy is doing badly while Scotland would do better going it alone. Have a listen.
It's stronger together. As the Prime Minister seen the pound, I think the financial markets are giving their judgment on this Prime Minister. You know, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister can afford to live in his own little world, his own little Britain. But people have to live with the reality of a failing Westminster system. A cost of living crisis worse in the UK than any other G7 country. An inflation rate double that of France. The second worst economic growth forecast in the G20, next to only sanctioned Russia. And now, a threat of a trade war with our European friends, triggered by a law-breaking Prime Minister. That is not a vision for the future of Scotland. Our nation is big enough, rich enough, and smart enough. Isn't it the case, Prime Minister, that Scotland simply can't afford to remain trapped in the failing Westminster system? Mr. Speaker, stop the world. Scotland wants to get on.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I think that the figures speak for themselves. The UK has record numbers of people in payroll employment.
But payroll employment includes people who are on universal credit, as far as I know, and people who are relying on food banks. People who are working numerous jobs in order to make ends meet. This is not something to be proud of.
That's an astounding thing when you consider where we were during the pandemic. That was because of the UK working well together, as he will remember, with the vaccine rollout, with the testing, which Scotland and the rest of the country cooperated brilliantly. And, Mr. Speaker, he talks about a trade war. He talks about a trade war. What could be more foolish, Mr. Speaker, than a project that actually envisages trade barriers within parts of the United Kingdom? That's what we're trying to break down.
What the heck? What would be more foolish than trade barriers within the United Kingdom? Brexit, you friggin' idiot. Is Boris Johnson actually criticising Brexit here? Is he criticising his Brexit? Because this wasn't actually necessary, this type of Brexit, between having trade barriers between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That was something that Brexiteers like Boris Johnson wanted. The European Union were happy to have all of the UK within the single market and the customs union. And there are even members of Boris Johnson's party today saying, yeah, we should be back in the single market, at least the single market. And now he's saying, no, you can't be independent because that would put up trade barriers. Trade barriers that we have put in place because of Brexit. Also in the United Kingdom, but also the big problem for Great Britain at the moment, not so much Northern Ireland, but trade barriers between Great Britain and its neighbours in Europe. I think this is Alistair Jack on the right next to the Chancellor. And he looks confused. Maybe he's like going, what did you just say? I don't know. I can't read his mind. But Grant Shapps doesn't look too happy either. What the hell did Boris Johnson just say? Did he openly criticise Brexit here? Or is he just saying, well, you know, Brexit has been such a disaster. You don't want to copy that with Scotland, do you? This is ridiculous. My goodness. Okay, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.